So he's asking about an issue that there was a video. Well, first of all, there was a video out of Dallas where they had all these young kids putting money in the underwear of these drag queens at a bar, and that's totally unacceptable. And I said that at the time. Then what happened was a week or two later, there was video from a place that had similar stuff, and then that was identified as being in Florida. So we said, wait a minute, having kids involved in this is wrong. That is not consistent with our law and policy in the state of Florida, and it is a disturbing trend in our society to try to sexualize these young people. That is not the way you look out for our children. You protect children. You do not expose them to things that are inappropriate.
All right, guys, so that is Ron DeSantis doing what Democrat governors refuse to do, which is protecting children from being exposed to things they should not be exposed to at a young age. Like, I don't know, male stripping, right? Yeah. Because he decided to file a complaint against a Miami restaurant called Our House that had a drag show in which a child was being strutted around by what appears to be a transgender drag queen in a G-string and no bra on with fake breasts, and probably had a fake butt as well too. Yeah, I mean, that is what we saw, okay? I mean, we've seen these videos all over the internet of kids literally at drag shows treating these drag queens like strippers, throwing dollar bills and stuff at them. Again, absolutely irresponsible parenting, okay? And irresponsible on the drag queens for thinking that it's okay to have kids at these shows. So, Ron DeSantis decided to file a complaint against his restaurant because this is just par for the course when it comes to Ron DeSantis' leadership and him saying that, look, this is wrong. I've seen this happen in states like Texas. This can't happen in my state, right? Not in the state of Florida, okay? Another example, again, of Ron DeSantis' leadership, and I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to get ahead of this issue before we start seeing too much of this stuff, because, again, there is parts of Florida that are out there, particularly in the Miami area, okay? So you got to nip it in the bud quick, fast, in a hurry. And that it kind of seems to me to be what Ron DeSantis is trying to do here. So, with that being said, the woke revolutionaries are upset with Ron DeSantis for using common sense and trying to protect children. And once again, they've tried to smear him as anti-LGBTQ for using common sense. And the person that I want to talk about today that is upset with Ron DeSantis is no other than Anna Navarro of The View, as she brought on actor Billy Porter to discuss Ron DeSantis and his response to what he saw at that drag show. And I want you guys to take a listen at it because it is very, very, very disturbing. And it just shows you how cuckoo for Cocoa Puff insane a lot of these liberals have become. Take a look.
Here we go. Renewed anti-LGBTQ campaign of wanting to portray LGBTQ as if they were groomers and all this stuff. So the new one is now Governor DeSantis is suing a place called Our House, where I had my bridal shower and where I love Athena Dion and all of the drag queens there. And he is suing them because there was one brunch where there was one child and there's video of that. And he thinks that's inappropriate, and he thinks that's worth, instead of passing property insurance in Florida, he thinks it's worth going after the drag queens. Yeah. So tell me, what are your thoughts?
You know, my thought is the reason the pushback that we're getting, not only from Florida, but all over the world, is because the change has already happened. That's what I'm trying to start talking about. Yeah. Because in our news cycles, we lean into the negative all the time. If it bleeds, it leads. Yep. We're not talking about the positive. The positive part of all of this stuff, including that, DeSantis, is the change has already happened. Yeah. Y'all are still trying to label us pedophiles because we put on dresses. Stop that. There's like a direct line with these people. Yeah. I don't even like children. I'm teasing.
Yeah, so that was extremely disturbing for multiple reasons. First of all, I want to say this. Why does Anna Navarro still claim to be a Republican? Right? She definitely can't claim to be a conservative. I don't understand why she still claims to be a Republican, though, because there seems to be nothing Republican about her except her name. Okay, but I get it. You know, political ideology and political party are two separate things. Just don't claim conservative because, again, there is absolutely nothing conservative about Anna Navarro, who, for whatever reason, believes that LGBTQ rights, this is how they're framing this, LGBTQ rights is the right for kids to be exposed to male strippers. Right? This is what they're fighting for. This is what they frame as LGBTQ rights. And then anybody that's against this and says, you know what, I don't think this is right. I don't think kids should be exposed to this the same way should be exposed to straight female or woman strippers. You're a bigot, right? You're a bigot. But if you listen to what Billy Porter said here, he said the quiet part out loud. Instead of actually addressing the real issue, okay, the fact that people feel uncomfortable with young kids being exposed to this stuff the same way they feel uncomfortable with young kids being exposed to women stripping like that, right? Just sexual content in general at a young age. He deflects and says, well, they're just mad because the change has already happened, right? The change has already happened. And it's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to interpret that? Because people get mad when certain labels get thrown on them. But when you have the perfect opportunity to condemn activity that I think even a lot of people in the LGBTQ community disagree with, you just basically double down on it and say, well, the change is happening. The change is happening. Again, how am I supposed to interpret that? How am I supposed to interpret that? What change are you talking about? It sounds to me like you're in support of this type of stuff. In fact, the reason why they had this guy on The View is because they actually wanted to promote a new drama about a transgender teenager that I believe that Billy Porter is involved in. Take a look.
I loved this film.
Thank you.
I just thought it was so great, especially because, you know, you never get to see a trans romance in this way.
Or trans joy.
I've never seen it, and I just thought it was beautifully done.
Thank you.
It's a coming-of-age rom-com about a transgender teen girl, her love interest, and their friends. And what I also loved is that wasn't the point about her.
Right.
She was just a teen
Right.
girl in love with someone.
Right.
I just love that. Transgender rights are constantly under threat, as you know. What does it feel like to put this, your feature film directorial debut, out there during these times?
You know, Toni Morrison says something. This is precisely the time when artists go to work. Mm-hmm. There's no time for fear. There's no room for silence. We speak, we write, we do language. This is how civilizations heal. Mm-hmm. I am an artist. We are healers by nature. That is what we're put on this earth to do. So to be able to be blessed with a story like this, to put out into the world at a time like this. You know, don't forget, I'm a Black queer man. So my rights and humanity have been up for legislation since the moment I could comprehend thought. I don't understand why we're still doing this. Right. I don't understand how this is still a thing. So to create a space for the ones who are now really being attacked and present their humanity. Remind people that we are all human beings first. Mm-hmm. First and foremost. So it humanizes, it, you know, it normalizes the othered, and it's about joy and celebration, which we all need right now. It's been a rush.
Yeah, so I want you guys to understand, these are the same people that want to get upset because people are using certain labels to describe actions that they seem to agree with. Again, this guy produced a film about a transgender teenager that found love, right? But, you know, it's supposed to be about acceptance and love, okay? Who do you think this is targeted towards? Who do you think this is targeted towards? It's targeted towards teenagers. It's targeted towards kids. That's the point, okay? Again, I don't have an issue. If you want to make a movie about transgender adults, fine, you know? But when you make a movie about transgender teenagers, we know what's up, right? We know what the agenda is here, okay? And then on top of that, when pressed about drag queens, strutting around with 3-year-olds while they're in thongs and G-strings and no bra on, right? As if, like I said, they're strippers. If all you have to say in response to that is that, well, people are just mad because the change has already happened, how can you complain when people see and hear stuff like that and then they want to say, well, this sounds like, grooming, right? How can you get mad about that? How can you be upset? You can't be, because you're not pushing back against the extremism, almost as if you support that. So if you support it, you can't get mad when people want to use certain labels. Again, I disagree when you have people out there that want to smear a whole group of people by a label like that. I disagree with that. I don't think that's right. Just like I don't think it's right when the people on the left call everybody on the right or white people white supremacists or say they have white privilege just because of their skin color. I don't agree with that. So again, if you, right, don't want to be called that, then maybe you should push back against extremism. But again, you have people that clearly agree with this stuff. They're clearly on board with pushing this agenda on teenagers and kids. And they don't see anything wrong with it. The View is framing this as LGBTQ rights. It is LGBTQ rights for teachers to be able to talk to kids about sex and gender. Okay? It is LGBTQ rights for kids to be able to go to drag shows. It's like, if this is what LGBTQ rights are, there's an issue, right? There's an issue. But again, it's like I tell you guys, they're not actually really fighting for rights because they have all their rights. What they're fighting for is special privileges, right? Because it is a special privilege to be able to have teachers talk to kids about sexuality and gender, but teachers can't talk to kids about Christianity and religion, right? It is a special right when you want kids to be able to go to drag shows, but kids can't go to regular strip clubs where heterosexual women are stripping, okay? Again, this is what I'm talking about here, man. Again, and this type of stuff is extremely disturbing. Again, I have no problem with you creating your art and trying to appeal to adults, but keep the kids out of it, man. If you keep the kids out of it, nobody's going to have a problem with it. Nobody had problems with drag shows until the children got involved. Once the children got involved, that's when people had problems with it, right? Nobody cares about how you live your life or who you want to sleep with. You just shouldn't be out here openly pushing it on kids and telling them that they're bigots if they don't accept your lifestyle. Again, that's the problem here. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.